What's going on, Grizz Nation? Welcome to another Grizz Game Day update. This is a late one today. The Grizzlies will take on the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix. It's a 9 o'clock tip if you're watching in Memphis. Joining me today for the first time, Gerald Bourguet. Thank you for coming on today. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty. I'm going to start with the Phoenix Suns. So
Okay.
Devin Booker is out. Cam Johnson and Cam Payne both out tonight.
Both out.
But on the Grizzlies side, after almost 6 weeks, Desmond Bane has been upgraded to questionable, which is incredible for Grizzlies fans. If you're looking at how Phoenix is, preparing for this game, does it change a whole lot whether Desmond is in or not? He's not going to come in and have a 40-point game right off the bat if he does play, but does it change the way that they defend this team?
I think it does a little bit. I mean, you're talking about one of the great shooters in the NBA, a guy who's really improved off the dribble as well with that shot. He's a really tough guard, and you put him next to John Morant, that makes it even more difficult, obviously. And since December, the Suns have been near the bottom 5 in defensive rating, so they've really kind of struggled on that end with so many guys in and out of the lineup. So it's definitely a challenge with this backcourt tonight if he plays. Based on the tweet that he sent out with the sunglasses emoji, I'm guessing he's going to be ready for this one, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it's always, I guess, when it's like questionable, it's a game time decision more. So I don't think we'll find out until like right before tip.
Yeah.
But look, both these teams are coming off losses. The Suns to the Wizards, the Grizzlies to the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this. The Grizzlies' last 2 games that they've lost, they've allowed their opponent to score a heck of a lot of points in that first quarter. They've just kind of gotten themselves down, not been able to like chip away at the lead. How can the Suns take advantage of that?
They're going to have to rely on their offense because overall this season, they're the #1 offensive team in the NBA, which is kind of bizarre with, Devin Booker missing time. That's kind of my big concern with this game is you're missing a guy who's averaging 28 points a game. How are you going to fill in for that? Yeah. And significant other guys, other bench pieces. It's going to be tough, especially because this team has not looked right for the last 2 or 3 weeks. They kind of bounced back with a little win streak there, but they're really going to have to rely on their 3-point shooting, their offense, and try to find a way to keep the Grizzlies out of the paint where they're really good. Yes,
the Grizzlies. That's another thing that I was going to say. So the Grizzlies are first in the league in points in the paint. The Suns, however, I think are top 10 in 3-pointers attempted, and then top 10 in 3-point percentage. How do you picture kind of like the scoring? Because they're also 2 top 10 scoring teams.
Yeah.
Is it like a very 3-point key heavy type of game?
I think so. I think for the Suns, they need to hoist up a lot of threes against this team, especially because they don't have a lot of guys that get to the free throw line, and Devin Booker's kind of one of their main guys that can actually drive and get in the paint a little bit. So they're going to need to hoist up some threes. And for the Grizzlies, like they're really good on the offensive glass. They're really good in the paint. And those are 2 areas, well, at least the offensive glass, where the Suns kind of struggle with the second chance points at times. So it's definitely a contrasting styles type of game. And we've seen the Pelicans kind of get beat up by a team that hits the offensive glass hard. The Grizzlies are another one of those teams. So it might just come down to toughness in some areas, at least on the Suns end of things, because they've kind of wilted against some really quality teams recently. And it'll be interesting to see if they kind of bring that smash mouth mentality tonight.
Oh, that is interesting. And with that contrast, you're talking about them shooting threes. The Grizzlies on the road this season have been pretty not great at stopping the 3-pointers from their opponents. They're allowing 15 made threes on just over 40% on the road. At home, it's a different story, but on the road, that's a whole lot of threes to let up, especially, Book, like we talked about it, Book's not in tonight, so that alleviates a little bit, but Chris Paul's been shooting real well in the month of December. Like there is guys that can get threes up, and that's dangerous for this, at least for the Grizzlies defense tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Like Chris Paul has been kind of used more in an off-ball role this season, and so he's been more of a catch and shoot guy at times. It's taken some adjusting for him after spending the first 17 years of his career playing a certain way, but he has had a couple of games recently. Landry Shamet randomly came in with a 30-point game the other night, hit like 9 threes, which tied the franchise record. So definitely something for the Grizzlies bench to keep an eye on if guys like that just start going off. But yeah, it's going to take a hot shooting night for the Suns to be able to keep up in my estimation.
Okay. I am going to ask you then to end this off, give me the one matchup, because this is the first time we're playing the Suns this season. We'll have them, I mean, just after Christmas, I think on the 27th, and then we have them again early January. So we're going to see them all kind of close in this month, but it's the first time. So let's just say someone watching today from Memphis doesn't know much about the Suns. Give me one matchup that you're excited, like one player matchup, Grizzlies Suns.
Yeah, I'm looking definitely at John Morant versus whoever's guarding him. I'm guessing it'll be Mikal Bridges for the most part, which is a little unconventional because, you know, you look at him, his length, he's usually guarding a wing, but Ja is just way too quick for Chris Paul at this stage of his career. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on that because the Suns have given up some really high scoring performances to star players this year. John Morant obviously having a phenomenal year, and Mikal's kind of their best hope at slowing him down. You know, they've kind of alternated who they start for Devin Booker, so it's hard to say one of those guys will guard Ja. That one's fascinating to me because Ja is just so quick, and that's the type of guy that Mikal typically struggles with, the smaller, quicker, athletic guys. So that's the one that the Suns need to kind of get the best of that matchup to the best of their ability to have a chance in this game.
Yeah, Mikal himself is averaging, you know, a little over 16 points a game right now. Ja having a superstar season. It should be another MVP talk season for him. And I think, honestly, I think they're going to come into this one a little bit upset. It's been 2 losses where I think they feel like they didn't perform to where they wanted to. So I think they come into this one extra motivated. I am excited for tonight. I'm going to have 12,000 coffees to stay up. But I am excited to see the Suns. It's always a matchup that I like to see. Gerald, I appreciate your time so much. You don't have to take as much coffee as me. You don't have to drink as much coffee as me, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I might have to take a little bit. Even the 8 p.m. start out here is a little late for me, for my blood.
Appreciate you so much. Grizzlies fans, we are back on Bally Sports Southeast, so tune in there or on the Bally Sports Plus app. We'll see you real late, and we'll talk again in a few days.